Hello, everyone, and welcome to this safe space. I'm Priscilla.
And I'm Yessie.
And welcome to another episode of
Nana's Hangout. Yes! So before we get started, I just wanted to remind you guys that we're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We also have an Instagram account, a TikTok account, and hopefully in the future, a Facebook account.
Yes.
So follow us. If you are listening, give us a review or
please.
Subscribe, like, share it. It really means the world to us. And yeah, welcome to season 2.
Yay, officially. Oh my goodness. I can't believe we're in season 2 already.
I know. Time flies.
In today's juicy episode, we'll be talking about our heartbreaks and what they have taught us. And honestly, some painful lessons have been learned, honestly, for me.
Yes.
But let's start it off with, how does it feel to get your heart broken? How do you react to getting your heart broken?
We're going to dive right into this. And I think it's perfect because I cannot believe it's been 3 months since we recorded the Dating Intentionally episode, and so things have changed drastically.
Yes, I know, dude. It's so crazy. Like the mindset we were at, now where we're at now,
or where we were in our love lives, in our love journey. I was so happy in that episode, and now I'm sadly very heartbroken.
It's crazy because I was also, I guess, getting over somebody. I was still getting over somebody during that episode. That's why I was like, no, I'm not looking for anything. And I'm still heartbroken and I'm still a little anxious, but you know what? We're still here and we're doing us. We're doing the best we can, and that's the best thing that you can do sometimes.
Well, for me, whenever I'm heartbroken, or going through a heartbreak, I usually stay within myself. I just write a lot of poems. And one thing that I wrote in my blog, it's a secret blog. Only like 3 people know about it.
I would love to find this blog.
Regarding my last heartbreak, or my most recent one, I wrote, I let out a scream of pain and anguish as my heart shattered into countless fragments. Each shard a dagger plunging into the hollow of my stomach, silencing the butterflies that once fluttered there with cruel precision. And that was answering the question, what happens to the butterflies in your stomach that were once there?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, the pieces of my heart, it fucking stabs them to death.
That's crazy.
Whenever I got the news, just my heart dropped and I felt it in my stomach and I started crying, and I did let out a scream. I was like, and it was in public too. So I just walked out of the coffee shop and went into my car, and I was like, okay, I need to go home ASAP. But it felt horrible.
It's my heart feels like it's being ripped out of my chest, or it feels like it's being frozen and then eventually will just be shattered. My hopes and illusions about this person that once were so colorful in my mind become gray and dimmed. I don't know, it really can feel like I'm grieving for the first few days, especially if I really truly cared and fell for this person. It sucks like a motherfucker.
It does. And did you know, while I was researching stuff for this episode, I found out that heartbreak is very similar to like withdrawal symptoms that people experience during drug addiction. Yes.
I know.
So like intense.
I can totally see that.
Yeah, like intense cravings to contact your ex. Like, how many times did you like type in a message and you were like delete, or you were about to call them, you were like no, or how many times have you stalked their Instagram?
Oh, so many. Unfortunately, I'm just kidding. No, I don't do that.
Maybe. And it's okay. It's okay if you do.
Fine. Everybody does, even if they won't say it out loud.
And there's a lot of emotional and physical pain, also like mood swings and difficulty concentrating. It's the same experience because they were part of your routine. They were your constant. Yeah. And then you take that away out of nowhere. Sometimes it's out of nowhere. Sometimes it's slowly. But either way, it hurts.
Yeah, especially because life keeps going. It's not like, I'm going through a heartbreak and I'm gonna stop going to work, or I'm gonna stop doing what I need to be doing. Even though you may feel like you can't do anything, you have to do it. And so at least for me, that can be the toughest part. It's just like, ugh.
Finding yourself again.
And finding the strength to believe in love again.
Yes. But to dive a little bit deeper, why are you grateful for this person even though they were not the right person?
I am grateful for this person because, or at least like the last heartbreak that I had that was truly so meaningful. I'm grateful for them because I was able to heal in one way or another through them, and I gained clarity, you know, and it was a great experience. I still, to this day, I keep learning how much it can take to be in a loving, committed, fun partnership. It's not that easy. It's not just, oh, I wanted, you wanted to, oh, it's gonna work. Like, no. There's more to it. I'm getting better at regulating my emotions as well, and just letting things be, getting rid of some control. And I'm grateful for this person because it's teaching me to trust in the process. I don't have another option but to trust that what's meant to be will be.
I agree with that, but I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to not be upset at the universe.
Oh, yes,
even though it is wiser than us. It is, especially the first week or so, it's hard not to blame the universe or yourself or like the other person. But I am grateful that throughout this journey I've gotten more confident. Like, I truly see the value in me. After my last relationship, and I've been single for 3 years, still single, going strong. Okay, I started to see the value in me and be more confident in me. And I've done a lot of things in these 3 years that I've been single that I'm like, okay, yeah, like, I am enough. I'm not gonna attach my value to someone else's, like, opinion of me or whether they want me or not. And
good.
One thing that you mentioned is like to trust the process, and I guess every failed relationship or failed situationship has taught me that I can eventually feel that way again. I can make a connection again.
Exactly.
You know, and it makes me excited for the future because I know that I will be able to make that connection with someone else.
Yeah, sooner or later.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think, has it ever happened to you that you were maybe a different person at the beginning of the relationship compared to the end?
The first year and a half of my single life, I took every dating opportunity, every like situationship to learn something, and I did become like a better person. However, in the past 10 months, I finally am happy, truly happy with who I am, that I don't think that I changed much this past breakup. Because I am in tune with my own self, because I try to be as authentic as I possibly can with whoever I'm going to meet. Like, this is what you get. I am kind, I'm going to be kind to you. I am smart, we're gonna have difficult conversations and thoughtful conversation. I think that the only thing that changed me from my last experience was that I need to protect myself more. That be more selective, because not everybody has the privilege to get to know me fully. Not everybody has the privilege to be in my body. Not everybody has to like see my space or see me that deeply. And I think, if anything, that's the one thing that I feel like I should have protected a little bit more. I'm not gonna say that I regret being so trusting of this person, because this person, I really thought like it was going to work out, but maybe I should have taken it slower. But I was so excited. I don't want to say in love, but I was falling in love, that I was like, I want to show you everything. I want to show you everything that I have and can offer you.
No,
so it's a hard balance.
Something that my mom asked me earlier this week that like has been in my mind for the last few days now is, why should it take less than 3 months for you to love someone and for you to care truly for someone? Maybe take longer than that, because it's gonna, for you to meet someone truly. You know, we can only put up a facade or our best versions of ourselves for so long, you know, and sometimes life happens as well. Sometimes you're, you know, in a great season of your life, and then something happens and you have to go through a rough patch. So there's more to a relationship.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, what's the point, right? What's the point of not showing up how I am? Con toda la intensidad, con todo el amor. Like, what's the point? So it's hard, and I don't have an answer. But
me neither.
Yes. But what about you? Did you change?
I feel like, I mean, obviously, like you said, I have in the past. Definitely, if you compare me to whom I was, like, after my first breakup, yes, absolutely. I feel like you said, as of recently, I feel like, if anything, just my attributes get strengthened, or I get better at, like, choosing somebody, or at, like, paying attention to the little things, like, the things that matter and stuff. With this specific person, I think that I was less affectionate at the start, and I definitely still had my walls up for sure. But I became more intentionally affectionate, like, because of him, for sure. And, you know, through him, like, I hadn't met someone that pulled that out on me, that, at least not as much as this person, you know, to make me want to do more things for someone. It's kind of like, I'm, you know, I like to receive, you know, who doesn't? But again, this person made me want to give more.
Wow. Yeah.
And at the end, I was also confused about the connection ending, because I did not see it coming at all. Like, I really didn't see it coming. But through every heartbreak and every relationship in general, I feel like is just becoming easier to show up as authentically as I can.
And that's the goal. Because you don't want to be drastically different from your single self to yourself in a relationship. You want to kind of like maintain the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. And not just the, I guess, who you are single and then who you are whenever you're taken, but also who you are whenever you're with your partner, and then who you are whenever you're with your friends. You know, like, you don't change that much. But do you ever reconsider or go back in the past and think that you could have done something better or different in past relationships?
Yes, I'm an overthinker. Of course. Oh my gosh. Do you want to know how many people I told about, we'll call him Carlos?
Oh my goodness.
You know how many times I repeated our story in my head over and over again, like going day by day, looking at the messages and say, like, did I miss something? Were there any, like, red flags that I missed?
Was there any evidence before?
Yes, that I was just, you know, not seen. Not seen. And so I think I did for a second try to figure out, like, who to place the blame on. And I was questioning whether or not I was too intense. Did I fall too quickly? Should I have waited to have sex? But I gotta be at peace with myself and the fact that I gave it my all. That I was, like, true to myself and my feelings, and that I showed up with an open heart, because I don't know, like, I do not regret it. And also, like, I have to be okay with maybe the possibility of me not being what he was looking for. It's not about not being enough. It's about like, maybe it wasn't, like, as perfect as of a match as I thought. And so, pero you never know, you know, nadie sabe lo que tiene hasta que lo pierde.
Exactly.
So I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know, like, his perspective, but I do, from my end, you know, try not to blame myself for being too much. Do you think you could have done something better or different?
Oh, yeah. I constantly think about that. I reflect on the ways that, like, I can react after feeling triggered. Because sometimes whenever I do feel triggered, like, I won't think before I do or I speak, which is, it's bad. You know, I'm still working on that, and I'm still trying to figure out, like, what those triggers are.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, I won't think, like I said, before I speak or before I do something impulsively. And it's later on that I can feel guilty or insecure with myself for not being able to control myself 100%. Like one of those examples, I have a story time. I was going out with this guy for maybe overall like 6 months or something, and he was in the Air Force, so we couldn't, it was a long distance thing. And he was great, honestly. Like, he was so sweet, and like I have no complaints about him. Like, this man truly raised my standards even higher, and I will always speak good things about him. But you know, within those 6 months, there was a time, maybe 2-3 months in, that because it was long distance, I would get so anxious about it that like I, not knowing like what was going on like all the time, and it doesn't sound healthy. I was like, I guess, feeling worried, insecure. Yeah, insecure. Like, I was like, you don't know like what's going on in there, like out there. And so because again I felt so anxious about that, I got tired of that, and so I ended it with him. And then, you know, maybe the day after, I was like, fuck, like, why did I do that? Like, this is something that I need to work on. Like, I shouldn't have ended it. Just like, maybe I should have talked to him before I did anything. And thankfully he did take me back, and then we worked through things. But yeah, that is something that, like, I don't know, I sometimes keep going back to, that I end things maybe sometimes impulsively. Yeah. But there's but
those are lessons.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, you never know why things happen. Like, some things that I did end impulsively, I'm glad that I did. And some other things, like you said, they're lessons learned, and you know, what's meant to be will be. Exactly. Lo que es para mí es para mí. Aunque me quite, aunque me ponga.
A que se vaya, regrese, or whatever.
Exactly. Yes. So, but that is something that, like, I have gone back to and reconsidered. And I'm getting much better at that, though.
That's good. Yeah. To see your progress.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you think that the situationships or relationships that you had, do you think they ended for a good reason? And did you learn something about your needs and wants? I
mean, you know, there's heartbreaks and relationships that I'm glad that they ended. Or not even just glad, but I'm kind of like, oh, you know, I'm glad that I went through that, but I'm, you know, it's a closed chapter.
Yes.
I do think that it depends on the person as well. Like, there's a few high value men in my life that I did not want it to end at all, ever. But whether they were for good reasons or not, at the end of the day, the relationship ended. Either the person or myself didn't want to commit to each other, to work on the relationship together. And so, you know, you have to respect that at the end of the day. I do keep gaining clarity through every person that I let into my romantic life. And I feel like I've become more aware of the reasons behind my boundaries. And I know that I can be a lot, but I also know that I'm worth a lot. You know?
Yes. We love that. You are valuable.
Thank you. So are you. You guys, you don't know what this episode means to us.
Yes, it's very healing.
It really is. What about you? Yes.
The reason that they had or I had for ending things do not matter. They don't matter. Yeah. I think, as you know, now that I'm a little bit wiser, I think I say that no hay ni buenos ni malos. There's no villain in this story.
Yeah.
Cada quien ama desde nuestras heridas. Everybody loves from their wounds, from their pain. And unfortunately, sometimes we hurt those people who are closest to us or the people that we love. And so I definitely do think, though, that there's differences between ending a situationship and ending a relationship, simply because a situationship, you cling to the idea of what could have been. And so that for me hurts so much more, or at least it has hurt way more than like closing the chapter on a relationship that we tried for 3 years, we tried to make it work.
I see.
Whereas a situationship is like everything that could have happened, and you didn't let me show you, you didn't let me have this opportunity, you took that opportunity away from me, or vice versa, or you know, because sometimes I do take the opportunity away from those people. And so I think the last heartbreak, and my biggest heartbreak, was the last one, because it's gotten better. But I do think about like all the plans that we had in the future, all the things that we were supposed to do, all the things that he was supposed to teach me, and it didn't happen, or the places that we were supposed to, oh my gosh, the places that we were supposed to go to. No, you're not gonna cry, yes, see. Okay, but like, maybe my mistake was falling for potential. Was he really vulnerable, or was I the vulnerable one? Was I the one with the open heart? Was his heart actually open, or was it all me? You know, like, I'm still unpacking all of that, but in a painful way. I learned that quiero que alguien me quiera with courage. Someone that doesn't like want to run away. Yeah. And someone that gives me an opportunity to love them. I think everything ends for a good reason, you know. Lo que dijimos antes, lo que va a ser para ti, no matter what. And unfortunately, like, situationships hurt. I think I've learned that situationships hurt way more than relationships.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because there's still, even if they're shorter than a relationship, there's still a deep connection. And you're still, you know, there's... The only thing that's missing from, like, a situationship is the label. That is literally it. Like, and the, you know, difference between a situationship, at least I feel like, compared to a relationship, is, like, they're just shorter. They're just short relationships. That's it. Yes. You know? And it could be, too, because nowadays, everything and everyone, I feel like we're just so fast-paced. And if...
Everyone's disposable.
Yeah, exactly. And if within the short amount of time, and if it's not looking, or if it's not the way that we want it to be, or pictured that it would be, then it's like, oh, no, it's not worth it. We can find something or someone better.
Yeah, people are not willing to fight for...
Exactly. Like, to fight for something. Yes. Yeah, like, I don't know. At least... me now, I'm, you know, becoming more aware about that, and I'm just kind of like, you know what, like, I'm gonna let things be, and I do want to get better at keeping somebody for longer than, you know, 3 months, and yeah, I cling on to the idea and the fact, actually, that things happen for us, not to us.
Yes.
Yeah. And I remind myself that I am not going to be the victim of my circumstances. Yes. I'm just not. You know, whatever has happened in the past is just to teach us to be better. And we are growing, believe it or not. It's just an everyday process.
Exactly.
Do you think that every relationship has gotten better from the last?
I tell my friends, I'd rather be crying for Carlos than crying from, like, the guy that I met, like, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, exactly.
It was a
That's
mess.
a good one.
So, okay. I want to talk about 3 people at 3 mini story times.
Yes.
And I think...
Ooh.
I think one guy that I dated, we'll call him hip-hop dancer guy. Man, this guy was gorgeous. He taught me that there needs to be more than just a hot body to build a relationship. Yeah. Very basic, but, you know, he taught me that. And then after that came Romeo. Not his real name, but just, like, a fake name.
A fake name.
Romeo, he taught me that pretty words mean nothing without actions.
Yeah.
And... oh my gosh, this guy could talk. He was a poet. That's why, you know, I'm calling him Romeo, because he would tell me beautiful things, like things that I'm like, okay, let me write this down for my own, like, poetry.
Yeah. Aww.
And yeah, but, like, pretty words don't mean anything if they're not there yet. And then the last one, Carlos, he was a guy that checked all my boxes and more. He raised the bar for sure. But sometimes the universe will tell you, no es por ahí. It's not there. Oh, you're not ready.
That's so sad, dude.
It is so sad.
That is so sad.
And to all my girls, to all the people watching, like, you don't have to go through heartbreak to learn lessons. I think dating other people and working on yourself has also helped me heal, and it has taught me equally as valuable lessons. But yeah, like, definitely every situationship or every person that I meet, like, they do teach me something, and I do see my progress throughout my dating journey. Like, okay, it's getting better. I'm getting closer.
Yes, yeah. I feel like every time I'm like, oh, this one is better than the last one. I'm like, oh, what about this one? Like, you know, it's a good. Every time that there is a new connection, it is exciting. It's kind of like, oh wow, like I'm feeling the butterflies again, or I'm feeling the excitement. In every relationship, like I do get better in relationships overall, like at handling my own fears, better at attracting high value man, better with boundaries and communications. And you know what, I have learned too, something like you said, that even with when someone checks all of your boxes and it's working, sometimes it's not no es por ahí. And I have learned too that sometimes I can be the problem as well. It's not just, like you said, no hay villanos. It's not just either one person or the other one, but I'm not proud to say that I have had relationships in which I was okay with just taking, you know. So I have learned that as well, and I do think that through every relationship, I'm getting better as well at treating the person too.
And that's what we want. We just want to get better little by little.
Yes.
And not stay in toxic cycles and repeat the same patterns. Okay, to talk a little bit more about the past relationships, did you notice a pattern in the past relationships, and how did you break it, or are planning on breaking it?
Yeah, gratefully, I think that I attract sweet ass men. They also tend to be hustlers and hard workers. That tends to be my type. I have attracted, though, the rebel type, but I'm glad that I outgrew that by being strong in my willpower and saying no when even if I wanted to say yes. I have unfortunately also attracted the emotionally unavailable type, but from what I'm understanding and from what I'm learning and stuff, that kind of also says that I too can be emotionally unavailable.
Because you attract who you are.
Exactly.
It's like a mirror to yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm working on breaking this by having a lot more introspections with myself. And I'm trying to understand my triggers, like how I said previously, and why I perceive them in a certain way. And I'm going to therapy to not self-sabotage. And I'm just taking it day by day, to be honest.
I think for me, I did notice that I have problems vocalizing my needs and confronting people. I assume that they could read my mind, or that we are on the same page. Oh, everything's going well. Like, we're on the same page, right? No. Sometimes it's not like that. And so I need to be better at, like, effective communication. Like, okay, be okay with having those hard conversations and asking those hard questions, even though you may not want to hear the answer to those questions. And I also learned that it takes me 10 seconds to check in. Sometimes I can be very in my own world. Also, I have a lot of things going on in my everyday, like dance lessons, the podcast. It takes 10 seconds to check in, and I am really trying to work on that. And that's something that I'm very proud of that I did in my last situationship. Is that I was like, oh, corazón, like, sorry, I'm busy. Like, I'm not going to answer you for like 10, I don't know, hours or whatever. No, it's never 10 hours, more like 4 hours. But things like that, like, oh, they do make a difference. I'm finding my voice, and instead of just keeping it to myself, like actually saying it. Yeah, saying it to the other person is important.
Good. Yeah, that is important, because people cannot read your mind.
No.
There's levels of hurt and pain when it comes to heartbreaks. You know, some heartbreaks are easier than others to get over. How did you deal with your most painful heartbreak? And how did you find motivation to go back into the dating world?
Girl, I'm not ready to go back to the dating world. I am not ready to date.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Right now I'm in my, like, I hate all men type of, like, mood. Men suck. But I'm still grieving my past heartbreak. And I think my biggest one was with Carlos. Simply because all of the people before him, I knew that were going to end. I was like, oh, yeah, this person is not for me. Oh, yeah. Like, I knew it was going to end. I could see the yellow flags. I feel like I'm a very logical person, but he left me with little room for logic. And I think Carlos was the first person that I said, yes, I want you to be my future husband. And I had never felt like that with anyone else. And like I said earlier, we were making plans, and even the people around me were like, yeah, yes, you don't have to worry about him. Like, he loves you. Or he's so attracted.
I was shocked.
She was
really
shocked.
was. I was like,
And then bam, it came out of nowhere. And so it broke me in unthinkable ways. And I think I did lose myself for a couple of days. And I did drink a lot for those 3 days. It was Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Yeah, I drank on a Monday because I was that heartbroken. Definitely the first 3 days were the hardest, but something that was different for this heartbreak, and something that, like, you know, silver lining, I would say, would be that I had my friends, I had a good support system, I had my girls, I had my college bestie. Oh my gosh, I love you. I had my college besties like Estefania and Lauren. I had my friends were there for me, and for the first time ever, this is the first heartbreak that my mom has helped me through.
oh,
Yes.
I love that.
And it brought us closer. If anything, Carlos came to my life so I could get closer to my mom.
Aww,
Because
that's so cute.
I connected with her in so many ways. She saw me as an adult. She saw me, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. I want to cry because of the connection I made with my mom, not because of the heartbreak.
It's okay, dude. You're fine.
But yeah, it was beautiful. And I also told my story to like other women, older women, like Tias and, well, Estefania's Tias and like her mom. I told, older women like my story, and they helped me heal. So like I had this beautiful support system of women. And even my dad, even though I didn't tell him straight up what was happening, he knew I was sad. We still went on like a 4-mile walk, and we were just talking, and it was so nice. And so that's how I found my motivation to go back to my routine.
Good.
And also writing, I'm so like grateful for it. It's how I just try to put things into paper and just let go of those emotions, because I'm not a big crier. I don't cry that much, surprisingly. I know I almost cried like 3 times throughout the episode, but I don't cry much, and so like writing helps me flush out all those emotions. Yeah. What about you? How do you deal with heartbreak? And are you ready to go back to dating? Do you have the motivation to go back?
Oh my god. Well, you know, breakups fucking suck. And this one breakup specifically hurt like a motherfucker. And I'm sorry for my language in this episode, but it's just cuss words really do help explain the little bit of anger that there is behind, you know, a heartbreak. I hadn't also felt so sure about someone, and not just to date this person, but I was falling so deep for him that at the end of it, like, I could picture myself with him as well. You know, I could see him and be like, yeah, I would be okay if this was the last guy that I ever dated in my whole life. And my most painful breakup was also like the most recent one, because it made me feel dead alive. I cried and slept as much as I needed. I am a big crier. I literally cry for almost anything. Like when I cry when I'm happy, when I'm sad. But anyway,
she's a Cancer, guys.
Yeah. And during a heartbreak, I can be selfish with my time and energy. Like, I do things that I know will get my mind off of things in a helpful way. But I do things when I actually want to do them and when I choose to do them. And I think that time is the best healer. You know, at some point, someday, the pain becomes tolerable. And then eventually, you just remember that person with love. And how I find motivation, I like to go out and spend time with my friends, with my people, in places that I love, doing things that I love with the people that I love. Also journal and pray and reflect on the lessons that I've learned. And I like to reminisce on the good experiences as well. Yes, this sucks, but I also experience all of these amazing feelings through this person. So it kind of makes me excited for the next one, for the next connection, the next time that I'm going to feel those things again, maybe stronger. I also have solo karaoke nights in my room where I cry and sing along to my favorite songs, imagining that I'm giving a show to an arena full of people just screaming my name. I actually do that.
Please. So overall, did the person or the experience make you a better person?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Overall, he made me feel so loved and cared for in so many ways, from the beginning to end, and I wouldn't have become more aware of myself and how I can be perceived as a potential romantic partner. And he did make me want to show him more effort compared to my past experiences. When I reflect on who I was and or scenarios in which I'm not proud of from past relationships, I tried to understand why I acted and felt the way that I did. And I tried to give myself compassion as well and grace. And on a daily, I like to practice being a better person regardless if I'm in a relationship or not. I think that it just enhanced my attributes and made me pickier towards whom I'll shed my tears for.
Yes, and I really want to highlight that. Practicing being a better person regardless if you're in a relationship or not, because you're not ready for a relationship if you're not already doing that. If you're not already trying to be your best self. The last experience, did it make me a better person? I don't know because have poured so much into me. I've already was trying really hard, and I was really hard on myself. Working out, podcast, career, friends, this, that.
Being disciplined.
Yeah, being a better sister, being a better daughter, all of that, right? I was already like vibrating really high, and I was already doing the things that I wanted to do to be better. So no, I don't think it made me a better person, but this past situationship with Carlos, like, it taught me that love can be soft and sweet, simply because in my previous experiences, I think love was very passionate, very lustful, was very like dramatic. It was very like telenovela vibes. And with him, I don't know if you watched Bridgerton, but it was like he was my Francesca story.
Oh.
So it wasn't dramatic. It was just soft. It was calm. He was a safe space for me to rest amongst all my chaos, amongst all the crazy ideas. He was my anchor. And I want to believe that it wasn't all fake and that he actually held my heart gently. Yeah. And so
I'm sure he did. He seemed like he did.
He seems like he did, but...
And we have to trust in ourselves that we're choosing the right people, too. Yeah. That, like, we're trusting this person for a reason. Like, trust yourself, too. That, like, you didn't make a mistake by trusting this person.
That's very powerful, honestly, because it has been, like, a bit of a, like, an inner conflict, like, wow, should I have trusted this person? But no, you're right. I trust myself to make good decisions, and I think I did make a good decision by letting him in. And yeah, he did teach me that love can be calm and peaceful and beautiful. And yeah, out of everything you have learned, what makes heartbreaks worth it? And would you do it all over again?
Yeah, hell yes. At least this last one. And I think that what made the heartbreak worth it was the entire relationship overall. From beginning to end, he made me so happy, and he awakened new versions of me. And I knew I'd been in love before, but I was starting to fall in love in another deeper level.
Yes.
Through him, I now know how much I want to learn how to maintain something special and to challenge myself to put someone else before me. And you know, my experiences in general have mainly been good, and the sweet man that I've had the chance to receive love from made me want to love the next person better and harder, you know. So I think that's what makes the heartbreak worth it. It's like I learned that I'm capable of loving more and deeper.
Yes, I agree with that. So I wrote a poem about the different expressions of love. So, te quiero, I love you, te amo. And I've come to the realization that I've never said te amo to someone. I think I love you can be very like transactional. Te quiero, like it's like the first step of like, ooh, te quiero. Like I am starting to feel this way. I love you. Like, yeah, like I've said it to like my ex-boyfriend for sure. But I never got to say te amo. I felt like I'm getting closer to the person that I want to say te amo to.
Okay.
And I think also that out of heartbreak, I've created beautiful things. Whether it was like photo shoots to feel empowered again, or whether it was like love letters or poems. The most beautiful poems that I've written have been after our heartbreak. And so
that's a good one.
Yes, because I think it's also like a catalyst for art, you know, and I can see it with you. Like sometimes you dance harder, like whenever you're feeling sad, and I'm like, wow.
Thank you. Yeah, I sing harder too.
Yes.
You guys should. Chavo is witness of it.
Yes. I know she sings beautiful, but we haven't gone to like karaoke night or anything.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet.
But heartbreak was worth it, at least this last one, because it has brought me closer to my loved ones, to my family, to my friends. And I do feel it in my gut that I'm getting closer to the men of my dreams.
Yes,
like,
you are.
I feel it. I feel it like within the next year or two or whatever.
I know you are. Whenever it comes.
Yes. For you too. Like I know we are capable of not just loving, but being loved.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. To give and receive
yes.
love. Amen. What are some concrete advice that you would give someone going through a breakup?
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I'm an expert now. After this last one, oh my gosh, all the work that I've done to feel okay again.
Yeah, dude, I feel like it's just heartbreaks are getting, unfortunately, they're getting easier and easier to just get through and to get back up from, which is good, but it's also like, damn, dude. Like,
how many heartbreaks is it gonna take?
Exactly. Ay, no, chingada madre.
But after reading so many books and listening to so many podcasts and whatever, I think I would ask myself the following 3 questions. Did he truly break your heart, or did you break your own heart by falling for an illusion? I think that's one question that I would ask myself. The second one would be like, what was the role in this story? Because no one's free of guilt. Maybe there were some like unhealthy habits that you intentionally practice. So what are the lessons to be learned here? And then the third question that I would ask myself is, did you try to find something in him that you were not capable of giving yourself? Whether it was validation, beautiful words, what was it that you needed him that you were not giving yourself? That one, like,
those are good questions.
Yes, that one was like, oh wait, Yessie, like,
like, look at you.
And then of course, like, being okay with not having all the answers you're looking for, especially after a breakup. I wouldn't like be texting that person right away. So being okay with not having those questions answered, but you will learn to live with your doubts and be at peace and close the chapter once and for all eventually. In the meantime, I would say just pour into you, go work out, take yourself on dates, give yourself the love that you always wanted. And one tip that I have for you guys, and something that I've done like little by little, is reclaiming the spaces that you once shared with that person and create new ones. So that coffee shop that you guys went on your first date, like go to that coffee shop again and create new memories on top of that.
Yeah.
That has helped me a lot. And then I saw a TikTok recently saying, you do want to go through heartbreak because you always come out of a heartbreak harder,
oh my God,
smarter.
I saw the same TikTok.
So I was like, you know what? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I did change my, well, on camera it doesn't look like it, but I did like change my hair.
It looks really pretty.
I added a little bit of like red dye. I started doing, yes, but right now they're like back. Because it's hot with all the lights. I went shopping. I am going to look for a new apartment. So like this space that we once shared together is no longer going to be. Packing up your bags and moving is not everyone's option, but it's just like an example, you know, like go work out, get your revenge body that you've always wanted, you're gonna be hotter and better after every heartbreak.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. What advice would you give, Prissy?
Honestly, if you're currently going through a heartbreak, go right through it. It
Yes.
sounds so cliche, but feel all the emotions and let them out. Like, ask for a little extra help when you need it too. And I promise you that the people that truly care for you, like, we don't care. Like, we don't mind.
Yes.
Like, we want to be there for each other. And it makes the process a lot easier. Be kind to yourself. You know, these feelings and the pain will not last forever. And one day it will all make sense. I cling on the fact that life happens for, you know, again, for us, not to us. I know that I've said that like 5 times. But, you know, trust that someone better is coming. And take your time. Think why and how this breakup is good for you, and don't abandon yourself. You know, keep going to the gym.
Yes.
Show and give the people around you the love that, like, you know, you want to receive as well. And remember that just because you're not romantically loved at this moment does not mean that you're not loved at all, and that you're not gonna be loved again. You know?
Exactly.
So just a reminder.
Yes. You got this. If you're going through a heartbreak, you got this. We're going through it together.
Yes, you're not alone.
You're not alone. If you want to reach out, you can reach out. Our DMs are always open. And if you're in Dallas, let's go grab some coffee.
Yes, let's go out and drink the pain away. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. We're not gonna do that.
I love it. But yes, welcome again to another season. We're so excited to continue working and creating content for you guys, and I hope you like it.
I'm excited for this new season, and I'm sure that you guys are gonna enjoy the episodes that are coming.
Yes.
Don't forget to follow us.
Yes, like, comment, and subscribe.
We'll see you again.
Bye.
Bye.